Tyree Gillespie, Dalen Levitt, the perennial vet that stayed with the team somehow for like 5 years.
Can't believe that guy's still bumming around, man.
Trayvon Morig, a decent-looking rookie from a couple years back.
Go.
Roderick Teamer, who played his heart out last year. And the new additions are Deron Harmon. Forgive me, I'm going to pronounce this name wrong. But since he's in Vegas, if he makes the team, he needs to get a promotional deal with the Wynn Las Vegas. Quinterio Cole and Isaiah Polo Ma'au. They are the rookies. Position battle everywhere. Who's our starters?
Well, Trayvon Merrick is the lock. That's a done. I think that young man played amazing last year. And
real quick, I don't know if Nate Hobbs is a safety, because I'm going by what the Raiders listed in a positional category. So they didn't have Nate Hobbs as a safety. So just in case people say he's a safety, I don't know. I put what I saw from Raiders.com.
Yeah, no, he's a slot corner. No, you're good. You're good. Trayvon Merrick is your de facto starter. And you could call him the free safety. Today's NFL defenses, especially in a Patrick Graham defense, you're going to get so many hybrid looks and so many changes and things. There's the days of the free safety and the strong safety are kind of outdated. You just kind of, you have two safeties back there. Yes, you can have guys that specialize in different things, whether that be playing the ball or playing close to the line of scrimmage, which is what the Raiders have here. But outside of that, you're going to have two safeties. And so one of them is going to be Trayvon Merrick as a starter. Ideally, Jonathan Abram would be the one to complement him. And I've rooted for this guy from day one. I think that he is the epitome of a Raider from the tenacity that he brings on the field. He's kind of silly. He's a throwback. Like, he just reminds me of the old school Raiders. And plus he wears number 24. Like, I love the guy.
He disrespected his starting quarterback on day one of Hard Knocks, making fun of his car and the parking. And then questioning him?
Yeah, that was a rookie being innocent and trying to be silly.
It proved that he wanted to be a star before he even got onto the field.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
I do, and Mikey is always right.
You be right in your world, and I'll be right over here in mine, not agreeing with you.
My proverbial world. Is that the word? Proverbial?
Proverbial
world.
Proverbial world. But anyway, so I love Jonathan Abram. But now, can you play the safety position up close to the line of scrimmage and attack the run and blitz and do all that stuff? Yes, but you still have to be able to cover. And when Jonathan Abram got punked in the freaking end zone by a backup running back, you're still a safety. You still have to cover at least a little bit. So here's where I think Deron Harmon comes into play. Deron Harmon is an absolute ball hawk. Deron Harmon is a stud veteran safety in this league. Again, a former Patriot, and someone in the chat was giving me a hard time about being a Patriot. But listen, look, wins are wins, man. I'm sorry, I don't care where you came from. If you can bring W's and successful plays to this Raiders team, then I'm in. And Deron Harmon is he's a dog, man. So I think the idea of Merrick and Abrams / Deron Harmon on third downs and stuff like that, where you need somebody to, because he's not going to be a full-time starter, but could he come in on how many times have we seen the Raiders get burned on a 3rd and 15 by stupid Patrick Mahomes out there running around extending a play and then hitting, Tyreek Hill for some ungodly reason that he's wide open. Those are the downs where Deron Harmon comes in, and that doesn't happen because Deron Harmon will go in there and play the ball and break it up. So I think this is I'm a fan of our safety room.
Starting safeties will be Deron Harmon, Jonathan Abram. By the end of the season, it'll be Trayvon Morig and Deron Harmon. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Okay.
Position battle, offensive line, returning players. Colton Miller, John Simpson, Andre James, Brandon Parker, Alex Leatherwood, Denzel Good, Jermaine Ulimuner, Lester Cotton. There you go. Jackson Barton, Hronis Grasu. New additions, Dylan Parham, Alex Bars, Jordan Meredith, Thayer Munford, Bamadell Explit, and then we got Tyrone Wheatley's son on the offensive line.
How fun is that?
Wheatley Jr.
Yeah, that's cool.
if there's any battles, I mean, it's got to be on the right side of the ball of the offensive line. I'm going to say de facto is Colton Miller. He's going to have a contract coming up again soon.
Yep.
Andre James, center. Again, will Leatherwood pan out at guard? Or they said they're going to try him again at right tackle where he was drafted.
Yeah.
Denzel Good is a good replacement at guard, whether it be the left or the right. Same thing with Brandon Parker at times. But, yeah, I mean, I see battles all on the right side and the guard on the left.
Yeah, I think, absolutely. Yeah, guard on the left. John Simpson, I think, is probably your favorite for that spot. And I think Alex Leatherwood's going to work out. I think that, we as fans, and I'll say we, although it is not me, it's other Raider fans, but I'll say we anyways because we're one family. We as Raider fans can be awful reactionary, and all you got to do is rewind the clock to the very short time ago when Colton Miller was a rookie, and everybody was screaming on Twitter and everywhere else about he was a bust and all this isn't going to work out. And now he's your most solid offensive lineman on the freaking football team, and one of the better. I'm not going to call him even a top 5, but maybe top 10, top 15 for certain. Left tackle in the NFL.
Can I give you a sad stat from Colton Miller?
Sure.
He was ranked, according to PFF, at the end of the season, the 33rd best left tackle.
Yeah, the PFF is stupid, man.
I'm just saying.
Because they don't think. Yeah, I know, but they never take into account game context, and I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, does the guy give up a bunch of sacks? What's the answer to that question? You know what I mean? And I don't even know I don't even know how many he gave up last year.
I like Miller.
I like him too, man, and he doesn't give up sacks.
I hate the stats when I read them. I just hate them. It pisses me off.
Look, stats can be anything that you want them to be, because and depending on the context in which you choose to put them, and people do that in order to fill their own narrative. And you can take shots at anything, but what is the end result? And the end result of it is that he doesn't allow a lot of sacks. And he's the best lineman on the team. So, but once upon a time, a very short while ago, everyone wanted to run him out of town because he, quote, sucked. Well, that's the same freaking line.
That's the narrative that PFF put. That's why they put him at the 33rd.
Exactly,
that means he doesn't even make the starting lineup on every team.
Right. Let me finish. But everybody's saying the same thing about Alex Leatherwood. It's a one-year guy. Yes, I know he was drafted in the first round. Yes, I know you want him to make an impact right away. We all do. But guess what? Players have to freaking develop over time. Sometimes they don't, and they end up being Cleve Farrell. Sometimes they do, and they end up being Colton Miller. So let's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. Let's not freaking say that Alex Leatherwood is a bust, because he's not. Give him year 2. Wide receiver is another thing. Very rarely do you have a wide receiver that comes in the league like Jamar Chase and blows it up and goes nuts, or Jefferson, or some of the other amazing young wide receivers we've seen. It takes them a couple of years.
What are your thoughts on Lester Cotton? Again, they say give him time to develop, and he barely makes the team every year, but the truth is he's making the team. So what are your thoughts on Cotton?
I think with it, Will, you're not going to no more of John Gruden and his guys, man. I just like this
Alabama.
Guy.
They're from Oregon. They're from the big
guy. He's just man. I really like that guy. Well, those days are over, because Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler don't freaking they don't have guys. So yeah, I think players like Lester Cotton, if they don't produce early, we won't see them finish training camp. I mean, look at all these damn names, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, with what you said, I'm actually scared that every offensive line position is going to be scrutinized over. Even Colton Miller. I'm not saying he's not good or anything. I'm just saying it's going to be scrutinized over a lot with our new staff. And it's going to be an interesting thing to watch during training camp. All right, let's move on to linebackers, returning players. And I wanted this guy to be drafted. I said it in one of my videos many years ago. I wished he would have been drafted. I thought they should have drafted him. But Denzel Perryman came out and played like as good as he could. And then we got returning Devon Diablo. New additions are Jayon Brown, Darian Butler, a rookie, Kyle Fekrill, Micah Kaiser, interesting, big name, Luke Masterson, and XSplit Young. The battle, again, it's all over the board. I mean, pencil in Perriman as your starter, maybe Diablo as a backup, but I say a battle. all over the board, with Micah Kaiser being a favorite to win a spot.
I love this. This is also the best I've felt about our linebackers in years. I'm the guy that would scream every single year when the Raiders would be on the draft board, draft us a linebacker. And I know the days of the field general middle linebacker are over, the days of Mike Singletary and freaking, Dick Butkus, or in the Raiders case, it would be a Matt Millen or a Kirk Morrison. I get it that those days are over, but you got to have a Bobby Wagner. You got to have what's the dude in Fred Warner. You got to have a solid middle linebacker. And I mean, we knew Denzel Perryman was good, and especially referring back to his days when he was with the Chargers and the games that he played against the Raiders. But he suffered a lot of injuries, and we weren't sure what he was going to look like. And man, dude just balled out. And so I think that's incredibly encouraging. Divine Diablo was one of the funnest surprises last year. The idea that they brought him down low is effectively he was a safety, you know what I mean? And so now they brought him down lower. I don't know what his body weight is. I'm curious to see what he's going to check in at this year. I don't follow him on social medias and things, so I don't know. I mean, I'm sure he's been working out, but I don't know how much bulking he's been doing. But man, talk like a guy that can handle coverage because he's a former safety and has just flashed some really, really cool ability down the line of scrimmage. I think that's going to be a really exciting one. I wouldn't even say that he's going to be a backup. He could end up playing on one side or the other. But Jayon Brown is an awesome addition coming over from the Titans. Fast. Dude is way fast. That lateral speed, that scrape, that guy is freaking badass. So I think those are like my three favorites out of this. Also, shout out the boy. He's not on the list there. Will Compton, year 10, playoff Willie. Let's go.
That's right. Will Compton came back for a couple games last year. That was nice. I think
my guy, we're doing a joint tailgate with Will this year. Did I tell you that?
Yeah, at the Tennessee Week 3 game. I've been dreaming and trying to get out there because my best friend lives there. But again, with my health, with my money, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'd love to have you, man. We're doing a joint tailgate before the Raiders-Titans game in Nashville. It's us with the Bustin' with the Boys crew, and going to be a great time. If you're in Nashville, definitely hit us up.
Yeah, I think Will lost his mother, too, last year, and that was really sad.
Very sad, yeah.
Yeah.
Suddenly, yeah, unexpected, yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you're building a great friendship with some great people. Yeah, it's really nice to hear, Murf.
Those guys are good to us, man. They're super cool, yeah.
Position battle, running backs. Josh Jacobs, I think he's one of the ones that didn't have his fifth-year option picked up as well. So that's a little bit interesting. Again, he could still return to the Raiders, but it might cost us if we want to bring him back, in free agency. And then Kenyon Drake, who was injured last year, I picked him as my MVP on offense, and it didn't pan out. New additions are Brandon Bolden from the Patriots, Brittane Brown, good, interesting-looking rookie, Amir Abdullah from the Patriots. He played with the Patriots as well. Zamir White, a rookie. Sincere, I believe his name is McCormick, but I'm going to say Sincere XSplit is a rookie. And then Jacob Johnson. And I also believe Jacob Johnson played with the Patriots a little bit. So the battle at running backs, I mean, it should be Jacobs and Drake, but I don't know, man. I see a place where Brandon Bolden takes over on a lot more occasions than we think, because he's familiar with the coaches, the staff, the scheme. And Josh Jacobs, I mean, he's injured a little bit, and they didn't pick up his. Those coaches specifically denied his fifth-year option for Josh Jacobs. Even though I love Jacobs in the goal line, I love him. The guy dives. He's a beast. But they specifically did not pick up his fifth-year option. And that's kind of interesting. Do they think they can get him cheaper? Or he's not going to play a lot this year, so his value will be less, and they could sign him less next year? I don't know. But Brandon Bolden, he had a big role with the Patriots on many occasions. So let's look out for that battle. It sounds really dumb. Kenyon Drake, Josh Jacobs, or Brandon Bolden?
Yeah, and I think that the one that you're sleeping on there is Zamir White. I think that.
Oh, Zamir, really?
Oh, absolutely. Zeus White. I mean, you're talking about the starting running back for your national champion, Georgia Bulldogs there, buddy. Like, And he's got power. He's got a little bit of breakaway speed. You're talking about a guy that can handle business at the goal line. I think that when not only the addition of Brandon Bolden coming over, but also the drafting of Zamir White in the fourth round, I believe, where they got him.
We drafted 2 running backs.
Absolutely. That's what the writing is on the wall for Josh Jacobs.
And Kenyon Drake.
Well, but Drake wasn't an option pickup, and I think that your prediction of him being having a successful year last year was on point. And if not for injuries, he would have had a much bigger role with the team in terms of production. I mean, I think Kenyon Drake is a great addition to this offense. I think Josh Jacobs
with the new coaching staff, not under Gruden. I believe if he's not injured,
right,
Kenyon Drake should have a much better year.
I think so, but I think that, like, again, there's only so many so many touches to go around with all the targets they're going to have offensively in the passing game. Again, I think it's going to stretch the field out, and they're going to have a lot of opportunity to run the football. And you might see a game where, like what we saw, when Jacobs got hurt, you got Peyton Barber running for 140 yards. You know what I mean? Like, I think Jacobs he's a great player, but I don't think he's proven week in, week out to be you don't have bell cow running backs anymore in the NFL, other than, maybe what's his name in freaking Dallas, Ezekiel.
Derrick Henry.
Well, and again, there's another one like Derrick Henry.
I think he got injured today.
Oh no! Well,
there's some sort of a report I haven't read, but
anyways, there's only a handful of those kinds of guys. Well, and Jacobs is not one of them. Jacobs has shown that he's not that guy, and so I'm telling you, man, it would not surprise me one bit if Josh Jacobs is wearing a different team's uniform at the end of next year, at the beginning of next year.
The start of next year, yeah.
Yeah, beginning of next year. And I think that it's Zamir White. I think you're going to see Zamir White and Brandon Bolden. Those are going to be your guys that are, quote, featured, unless it's third down and you need somebody to catch a pass. And there you got Kenyon Drake, who's effectively a slot receiver playing back there. So I'm looking forward to Zamir. I know we're going to do bold predictions later on, but if I were to make one here out of all the players we've talked about tonight, Zamir White is my bold prediction. That's the guy that's going to be your breakout player on this Raider offense.
I'm glad. I mean, I'm proud. I was proud when they drafted Josh Jacobs. I was really happy, but again, he worked out for 2, 3 years, 4 years, whatever it's been, and now it might be Zamir White taking over that spot. And with the way the NFL works with money, values, contracts, 100%. Running back position, they're like, let's just draft them and see which one works.
100%, Mikey.
All right, let's go to position battle. Cornerbacks, returning player. Nate, let's sleep in the middle of a hotel. Hobbs. Why are you in a hotel, Nate? Why are you in a hotel? You got a wife, don't you? And you got a home in Vegas. Why are you at a hotel in Las Vegas? Sleeping in the parking lot on a Saturday morning. I'm sorry, I'm just, can I say it? Another girlfriend. Nate Hobbs, returning player. Trayvon Mullen Jr., Amik Robinson. Boy, all these draft picks we've had, like for under Gruden, whoever, they're all gone. Like, it's insane. New additions, I thought they should have drafted him. Again, my predictions, they should always draft these players, and if they would have better players on the team. Rakya Shin in Sin City, which is a nice addition. Anthony Averett, Bryce Crosby rookie, Chris Jones, Savon LeBlanc. Add a little bit of Parmigiano Reggiano to that meal. Savon LeBlanc, or is that a wine? Savon LeBlanc, Darius Phillips, and Sam Webb. Position battle: Nate Hobbs, pencil him as starting cornerback. Trayvon Mullen. The battle is, I'm going to say, Trayvon Mullen, Rakya Shin, Anthony Averett, all three of them, with the winner probably being Rakya Shin to start the lineup.
Yeah, and Hobbs is your starting slot corner, so it's hard to. I mean,
that's right. I'm thinking traditional left and right, but
yeah, he's not gonna play outside. Now he can kick out there if we absolutely had to have him do so, but his strength is inside, and so I don't think you're going to see him move off of that much. Mullen is your de facto number one, and then so then it comes down to Rakya Shin and Anthony Averett. Rakya Shin was kind of like the early fan favorite. And a fine player, very dynamic, but he's not big for turnovers. And if there's anything that we've seen that the Raiders have been missing in the secondary for the past, I don't know, however many years, since Nnamdi freaking Asamoah left, We don't have turnovers, man. Like, we don't have a defensive secondary that picks off the ball a lot. And that's what Anthony Averett does. And I think that's the reason that you bring him in from Baltimore, is that he is that kind of a guy. And so I think that I lean to Anthony Averett as the second starter, just because of his playmaking ability and ability to create turnovers. And so that alone to me is worth enough. And then Rocky Sim. But I mean, could those guys kind of, again, with the adaptive nature of this coaching staff, could we see different guys based on what matchups are? 100%. You know, are we going to see Rocky Sin start because we're playing whoever, the Titans, but then you see Anthony Averett, we're playing the Chiefs or whatever? Like, sure. Like, I think those are the kinds of things that we're going to see. And speaking of the Titans, you get Chris Jones in there too, who's a nice veteran, a guy that's been around the league for a long time, a definite leader in the locker room. It's funny, like with all the Patriots that we've seen added to this team, we've also seen a lot of Titans. If you've noticed, there's been a lot of ex-Titans that have come in and I think that if you really want to start drawing the lines, who's the Titans head coach? Right, you got a former Patriot, Mike Vrabel, and so he's kind of running that system and those kind of similarities, and it's worked for the Titans. And when you look at the way that the Titans have built their locker room, it's very much in that Patriot style. And so then now, you got only get a lot of Patriots migrating over here. You got a lot of Raiders you got a lot of Titans migrating over here as well. So
the Las Vegas Patriots. Is that blasphemy?
No, and you know what? And listen, let me grandstand for a half a second, okay? All these people that are talking all this shit about stop it, okay? If I hear one more Raider fan complain about them being cheaters, I'm gonna pull out what little hair I have left, which is none at all. I'd have to take it from my beard. It's an absolute ridiculous. The Raiders, once upon a time,